What's up, Brahma Nation? How's it going, everybody? Happy Friday. This is your Horns Forward podcast crew. I am, of course, Viva Texas, El Mariachi Brahma, joined this weekend by the lovely 210 Brahmacita, Miss Jackie herself, and then DJ, no shades this week,
Hola,
but
hola, hola. Ho, 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 ho.
oh,
Oh Lord,
oh
you
my
had to
God.
say it. Here he goes.
I had to
Oh, at
remind
least
him.
he changed them.
The
He
Men
got
in
the
Black back.
Terminator.
All right,
Oh,
he's got
Men in
the
Black.
the
Okay.
men in black shades. All right, we'll accept that. And we'll be joined later on by our very special guest, Mr. Excaliburd Battlehawk. So once he joins us, we'll go ahead and pop him into the room. But yeah, so here we are, another week into the off season. More stuff going on. A lot has been going on in the XFL world. Obviously, we had a statement from the league this week of certain things that have been happening at a league level. And there's not really, I mean, there's a lot of rumors, there's a lot of speculation out there. And I just want to reiterate to everybody that's all they are is rumors and speculation. And I wouldn't take anything at face value unless it's coming directly from the XFL media department. Um, so, yes, there are some staffing changes basically to our understanding. All they're really doing is shifting people who um, are probably better suited to be seasonal employees to a seasonal role. And obviously, full time employees would remain full time employees. So they're doing some shifting around. They're revisiting a couple of things. This is part of the learning and getting better and just improving because, again, I want to reiterate there is going to be a season two. That is
For sure.
not something that is not an option or not on the table. There will be a season two, and this is just them improving on what they learned in season one, which honestly, for everybody, we all were just learning during season one. So, I mean, that's really all there is to say about the most recent statement. Like I said, anything you guys maybe have heard from news sites, from rumor mills, just want to reiterate again, it's just that it's rumors. Unless it comes from the XFL media department, treat it as such. It's just rumors.
Period.
You guys got anything to add to that?
Nope, that's
Man.
beautifully said.
Yeah, I mean, you covered it, but it's just rumors, man. And getting ready for, I mean, like, I think everybody can kind of know, like, how the league is going to operate. I don't think they're going to keep everybody employed throughout the off season. Nothing's going on. So
Right.
why do you expect people to be employed when nothing is going on? So,
Yeah, like I mean,
but I
I
mean,
like.
like,
Oh, you go ahead,
yeah,
DJ.
then I go ahead. No, I
Oh,
was just saying, like, I mean, that's just common sense, like it's gonna be like a contract, like any other contract. Like you work during the time that the games is going on, the season is going on, and after that, you can expect to be laid off. I mean, but then you can come back. It's just like it give you the it's an opportunity for everybody,
right.
So
Yeah.
just think of it like that.
Yeah. Like I mean, if you think about it, like why would they need to keep game day on field experience staff like flag runners or like the chain crew or someone like that, when there's obviously no games and you don't
Right.
need a chain crew on payroll year round, but you pay them for the games. So it's kind of like where we're at here with it. So really, not nothing crazy to worry about. Like, everything is good with the league. Like I said, there will be a season two. So I know that's always been something that San Antonio fans are always very, very cautious about. There will be a season two,
For
um,
sure.
which is a good kind of segue into our next topic here is six. The number has gone up as of what we're gonna report, but
Mm.
Got a pool party
66
back there.
plus. Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
there's a pool party out. So full disclosure, I am deep in the heart of Roughneck territory. I am broadcasting out of Houston this weekend.
There he is.
So
Traveling
and
mariachi.
just like in during the season though, there are definitely much more Brahma representation than Roughneck representation. So sorry, Houston, y'all got to do better. And here we are, joined by the man himself,
Not ready.
Excalibur. How you doing?
Look at this.
Hold on, I'm not
Congrats,
ready.
guys.
Oh man, he's putting all of us to shame.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness, he
he's
got
got
He
the
has a
background.
background. Oh
Oh
my
my goodness.
Lanta.
Oh wow.
he got a layer in there.
Oh,
You
Oh,
and
didn't get that. You didn't
there we
get
go.
that all on camera, did you? Me with my helmet off.
There was a little bit of it on camera, but now it was a little fuzzy.
Oh,
But
that's
now
unacceptable.
now we good. We good. It's all clear now. So the fuzziness is gone. So we see the background, and you are full gear, ready to go. I love it. Look at that. Look. I mean, oh my goodness! Wow, this is incredible. You,
it's a press conference.
this a press conference for Excalibur. I love it. Um, so Excalibur, if you would like to introduce yourself to the followers and fans of Horns Forward podcast, please introduce yourself.
Introduce myself. Okay.
Here we go. Here we go.
Lords, ladies, and children, FL Nation, good evening. I, Excaliburd. How are you?
Oh, we are in awe right now. Is where we are.
I am loving this
Hey, you know what?
entirely.
He took it to the next level. I don't care. I don't care. Nobody want to hear super fan. He took it to the next level. He's definitely a super fan.
Yeah.
He got his own little layer in there. Like I don't even know what you want to call that. Like the background.
Of the East Wing,
Okay.
between the library and the winery.
Oh, he's got a
Winery.
winery. He's got a wine, so he's ready to get wild too.
Is this the
I think
Excalibur nest?
the battle wife is in the winery, and the kids are in the study playing Xbox.
That's the way you do it, right there.
That's
Got to have the whole nest for the family.
right. Horns
Well,
forward, baby.
yes,
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
sir.
right.
Well,
And
thank you so
caca.
much for joining. Yeah, caca, caca is a law.
Hey.
Yeah, no,
I gotta tell you, the
thank.
Horns forward actually has a special place in my heart. I grew up a small type, and my favorite player growing up, probably gonna date myself here, was Earl Campbell.
Ah, yeah. All right,
I know
legend
it's
down
not
here.
San Antonio, it's in Houston, but that was always the Hook 'em Horns was always their slogan back then.
Oh
So
yeah, no, and
I think about it a lot of times when I see the Brahmins doing the Hook 'em Horns.
Earl Campbell is well respected all over. I mean, Texas in general, and I mean even at the college level. I mean, when he played at the University of Texas, UTSA did not exist as a football team back then when he was playing. Anyway, so everyone in San Antonio was a Longhorns fan for the most part, unless they like Texas A&M, which is not as many. But yeah, I mean Earl Campbell is a legend and a well respected one at that. So awesome! I'd love to hear that.
Yep, he's the one that got me introduced into and actually just loving football. That was the first game I ever saw was in the Astrodome. Uh, I think he had a couple touchdowns and about 150 yards rushing, and I tell you what, I was hooked on football since.
That's yeah. All it takes is that one player. That's your Earl Campbell is my Brett Favre.
Right on.
So explain to me what you have there right in front of you.
This is my podium where I typically do my sermons. I get a little hungry sometimes. I have the lunch to bring me some grapes. He's gone. I have my chalice full of ale. Put the helmet on, so I have a little bendy sippy straw I can put right there in my helmet.
Oh my God.
This is it. I got my shield, my swords, and this is where I do my broadcast from.
Oh my gosh. So tell me, how did Excalibur, like how did he come about? How did you come up with this persona?
I think in it actually started a long time ago when I was a little tot. I was always fascinated by the mascots or the super fans, if you will, from a really early age, and just the way they engaged and entertained the fans, it really kind of appealed to me. Never really gave it a whole lot of thought beyond that. You know, I grew up going to the St. Louis Cardinal football games back before they moved to Arizona. A little part of my heart is still with them. And then we got the Rams in '95. And me and some buddies, we became season ticket holders and we went to every single game. And yet, lo and behold, we had that team taken from us. So we've had two teams taken from me in my lifetime. So when we got the
Wait,
Battlehawks in 2020, I want to do something fun. You know, I didn't want to be. I mean, yeah, I love the game. I love going to the games. I love watching the games. But I wanted to be more engaged. And the XFL, I believe, is all about that. They are so connected with the fans.
fact.
You know, it almost feels like a family. It's just got a different feel than it does being a fan for the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it was real short lived in 2020. We had two home games. And I started doing this first couple home games. Everybody thought I was a little nuts. But
Hey,
I gained a little bit of popularity, and I had so much fun doing it. And then when COVID shut everything down, I got invited to start doing some of them birthday parades for the kiddos. I don't know if y'all did those in your neck of the woods.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So I started invited to do those, and that was a lot of fun. I was doing probably, I don't know, half a dozen every weekend, and that was so neat to still connect with the fans. You know, when there wasn't football going on, to be able to give the kids something special for their birthday, you know, something like that. They'll probably remember for the rest of their lives. They'll probably remember that more than any party they might have had if it wasn't for COVID. You know, every cloud has a silver lining, I guess. Um, and then that kind of went away, and then 2023 came around, and 2022, and the XFL started up again. So I got to give a shout out to my wife, my battle wife, for helping me tailor make this costume. She was very instrumental in doing so. And so this past season, Excaliburd 2.0, if you will, was unveiled. I don't want to give too much away, but there is going to be another unveiling.
Yes.
3.0.
Well,
2.5.
much of. there will be
So,
another. There will be another unveiling in the Excaliburd flock for next
so
season.
what was the difference between 1.0 and 2.0?
You know, my armor is a lot more heavy duty. I got some fur on my legs. I've upgraded my feet. I don't know if you got a good view. So, I don't know. Can you see my whole?
Yeah, yeah, we could, yeah.
So,
And
so I just a few upgrades here. Just try to make. I tell you what, it's not one of the most breathable outfits on the planet. Uh,
Hey, that look hot to me.
I
but
thank God that we had some really cool tailgate weather games. Because if I had to wear this in the time, I don't know. Ah,
He would
oh
not
yeah,
survive in
yeah.
Texas with
I,
that
I was
on.
about to say, I was like that that look, that fit, everything. It works in St. Louis because that must keep you warm. If you were doing that here in San Antonio, oh my goodness, it would, like, you would just be melting inside because of the heat. So yeah, that definitely works for St. Louis, and I mean, we're just glad that you brought it back because when I, first got into the XFL, XFL 3.0, because San Antonio finally got a team, I started looking into other teams. Your face was everywhere, or your mask was everywhere for St. Louis Battlehawks. So like you like were the first. Like I was like, I want to meet this guy. Like this guy is like I always told the guys from the X Fan Show as well. I was like, I'm going to St. Louis next season. Because I'm assuming, and this is just an assumption, but that they're just gonna flip flop the schedules where home and away are just gonna flip flop. So if that's the case, the home opener, instead of being in San Antonio, we're probably gonna be going up to St. Louis. And if that's the case, I will 100% be up there
Mhm.
to watch the game, and I certainly want to meet you in person if it's possible. And
Absolutely,
and
by all means.
and
Uh, Rudy, I might not be pronouncing it correctly. Rudy Juarez,
mhm.
I believe, is from San Antonio, and he was reaching out to me, and he's a big fan, as I am of his. Yeah, he's looking forward to coming up here to St. Louis, and it's a great thing about doing this. I don't go down to the games tailgate in one spot. Game sit in one spot. I walk through all the tailgate lots downtown, and I get to party with you know, and it's so great that you don't know. They come up to you, arms, smiling, picture feeling. So get the party out with everybody, as well as
Buddies like you.
I'll bring pictures back to the alley towels that I had made, and I toss these to the crowds. I don't know if you can get
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
during the game. So I never sit in my seat, and it's good exercise. I think I average 38,000 steps on game. Uh, so it keeps, it's so much fun. I tell you what it's like when strangers come up and like, hey, we love you, we love what you do. It's an honor. It was doing what I'm doing and enjoy for others as well. I ton of enjoy myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, it's a true representation of doing this for the fans, which is really what this league is all about.
Absolutely.
Um it's for the fans, and you are a good representation of that, my friend, and I love it. And like I said, I can't wait to meet you next season. I'll probably be freezing my butt off if I'm up in St. Louis in February, but I'll figure out a way to survive.
It's not too bad. I mean, we had some. I think on our temps were maybe around 50 degrees, which was actually perfect for tailgating. There was a day where it was a little bit colder. I think it was like in the mid 20s, and some of our fans they were out tailgating on, and we got some crazy fans, man. I'll tell you what. But they're a lot of fun. They really are.
Are you the fan with the wings?
I am not. I do have feathers on my arms, but there is another super fan down there that has some wings, and
Got
when
the
you
whole wings. Yeah,
out a little further,
yeah.
I believe that's who you may be referring to. I'm not quite sure, but there's a bunch of us down there. I'm not the only nut.
So I want to know, like, it's so different hearing from fans from other teams because we know our dynamic here in San Antonio. So, like, how right now do you guys feel like you have your own rivalry? Like, is there a team that you're like, that's the one we're gonna bump heads with? Have y'all determined that yet?
I think there's a little consensus around about a few different teams, DC being one of them, and
Mhm.
rightfully so. They took care of business against us twice, and they're a great team. Now, when you speak rivalry, I consider a rivalry: you win one, they win one. You win one. We played them twice in 2020. Granted, totally different team, but they beat us both times. We played them twice this past year. They beat us both times, so they got our number. I don't know what it is. On rivalry, I would say maybe Seattle. They won one, we won one. We had an opportunity to grab a playoff seat second to last game of the season at home against them, and they came in and they took care of business. And hats off to them. You know, they did what they needed to do. So if I had to pick any team that's a rival right now, I would say Seattle. But it's still early on. A lot can happen. Knock on wood in the years to come.
Hey,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because I know down in San Antonio, we we have our. I mean, we haven't come to a consensus, but I feel like it's heading in a direction of who. So there's like a fan base rivalry, and then there's like just an on field football like we just do not like each other rivalry.
Yeah.
yeah. So right now, what he's about to get at is what I'm gonna say is it's San Antonio versus Texas, meaning like San Antonio versus Houston, San Antonio versus Arlington. So whenever we play, yeah, we trying to take over Texas first. That's number one. Number
Right.
two, I mean, all the other. I mean, I don't know. I think as far as fan base wise, it will probably be St. Louis, but I think DC got they had us in the fans, right? I think we averaged more or something like that.
We averaged more than DC. DC definitely had a bigger showing towards the end of the season. Obviously, they had a really good on field product, which I think
Playoffs
played a
and
big
stuff.
factor. But yeah, I mean, I know San Antonio, when they saw the numbers that we were averaging, and but we came in second place to St. Louis. I mean, you guys blew us out of the water. Let's be
Blew the
real.
league out the water.
You blew the league out the water. That's something that we're like, we got to do better than that next year. And so I know that's something that the team also wanted to see. Like we want to be the number like the highest attended fan base and all that good stuff. So I think from a fan base to fan base perspective, we kind of feel like St. Louis is like you're the one that's got the target on the like that we're chasing after. But from like a football like DJ said, it is San Antonio versus Texas. But I do feel just a tad bit more animosity towards our friends up in Arlington, the champions, as I like to call them.
Hey,
Um,
That is what they are called right now.
hey,
Hey, I ain't got my shades.
you can go home with the trophy at the end of the year. Uh,
yeah, I mean, we definitely want to take that trophy away from them next year, and run the table, as we like to say. But yeah, it's one of those things that I think having rivalries is just gonna be good for the league because it just gets people more emotionally invested and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And to hear that you guys have that with like DC and Seattle, like honestly, San Antonio and Seattle, I mean, we're so far apart, and I mean, we only played each other once. I can't say that there's really like much between the fan bases, but to know that there's something there between y'all's fan bases, I mean, that just helps keep the league interconnected even more, which is just going to be great to help keep everybody growing. And I mean, that's what we want. We want this league to grow and ultimately see our players in the NFL. Which I know you guys have been getting a whole bunch of looks at your players going to the NFL recently. So congrats to the Battlehawks on that.
right? That's what it's all about. Giving these guys second chances. You know, I mean, they're taking advantage of these opportunities, and when you talk about fans versus fans rivalry, that's only uh, Danny and Rock. And I'm sure they got to be thrilled with the way this season went about. I mean, yeah, we got most of the fan attendance here in St. Louis, but you know, I'm not sure what the thought process is, but St. Louis is a great sports town, great football town, regardless. It hurts to be time. So, I think that they're getting more. I mean, Washington. I mean, they got Sanders up there, and as far as I couldn't already have NFL teams. A lot of logistics that I'm not aware of.
That is
Uh,
true.
yeah,
Sorry, we're having some issues with the sound. I'm hearing a lot of water in the background.
yeah, that's my fault. I'm
So
sorry,
good.
y'all.
But no, again, we appreciate you coming on. We really the whole purpose of this is just really to connect all of our teams. I mean, we when I was at home and I was watching all the games, I mean, I saw you on TV so much, and it was just really cool being able to see some of my favorites pop up on TV, just like some of us would on a weekly basis. So it's really just to keep us all united during off season, keep watching all of our players make it to that next level, and really just getting to know the ones that we get to see on TV on a weekly basis that we just enjoyed, like seeing the different characters, persona. Just like you, I think a lot of us also I never sat in my seat either. Um, I think just like most of us, probably the next day you were probably just worn out, like I was with so much energy. But I did want to ask, like what kind of things when like during your game, since you're walking around so much, I mean, did you ever get to really watch the game, or were you just always bombarded with people wanting to take pictures?
Can I
How
take
was
a
your
picture? Can I take a
experience?
picture?
Yeah, how was your experience as walking around as Excalibur during these games? Did you really get to watch the game very much, or did you have to go home like me and rewatch it?
Well, I definitely recorded and went home, watched it. Walking around, I pay attention to what's going on, and when it's a critical third down, or watching the clock, critical points in the game. Yes, I will stand there and walk and watch the game. But and most fans are pretty respectful of the play on the field, and they'll come and approach me in between plays. And some maybe not so much, which is fine with me. So I try and watch as much as I can, but I definitely record the game and go home and watch it because there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, okay, and then maybe I think one question is, when is "caca is the law"? When are you supposed to say that? Is it just anytime? Is it like during a touchdown? Like when do we say "caca is the law"?
Anytime you feel it in here, it comes out of here.
Let's be clear, Jackie. That's we're not gonna say
Oh
that because
yeah,
it's
I'm
not a
not
law.
going to.
That's not a law in Texas,
No,
but
no,
they
no,
can
no.
say that.
Absolutely. I just want to know if it's like a thing. I think he disappeared. If it's like how we grito during a touchdown, maybe caca the law is something that is tossed
Yeah,
out during.
maybe. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we lost your video feed there, Excalibur. Mm.
I don't even hear him.
We'll bring him back in when he's when we get those. But that's awesome. I think the one thing I did want to ask him, which if we get him back, is I want to see what other than St. Louis, like where does he want the championship to be next year?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So well once we get him back, we'll ask him that. But while we're let's see, is he?
It's like he's trying, but it
Yeah,
keep going out.
yeah. So we'll give him a minute. But while we're waiting there, so obviously we where we left off was we have a huge number of our players that went into the draft. 66 plus players at this point. There's been
Well,
more since
camps,
yeah, they've either been they've
camps,
received
or
some sort of
signed
some sort of
invite. Yeah.
invitation or they've signed with a team.
Mm.
um and we have also already started seeing some cuts. I know Jacques Patrick was one of them who got cut from the Broncos, but I will say that he is likely going to draw interest from other teams.
Oh, for
um
sure.
and it's like I mentioned in one of the discussions we were having within our the group is this only helps, like being part of this of like a camp and signing a contract only helps them more in the off season because they already have experience with the playbook. They have experience within the system, and should Denver get hit with the injury bug, Jaquez, hey, we need you, man. Come on over, Denver. We like right now, and easily. and we got DJ giving the beatbox.
I know
I
they
ain't
need to
never heard of
sponsor us,
Yeah.
man.
Beatbox,
Yeah,
if you're watching, hey, how about a sponsor?
that.
yeah. It was crazy because I went to the something Lovers and Friends concert in Vegas, and I never heard of this, and I saw the Trulies, and I was like, oh, I don't want no Truly, so I was like, okay, what's this beatbox thing they talking about? So I tried it, and man, I've
Does it
been
have alcohol in it? Or is it
11.1%.
okay?
It looks
I
like
mean,
I never heard of it.
a protein drink
I thought he was
alcohol
alcohol version.
version.
drinking milk out of a carton or something.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy. I'll be drinking milk at 8:30 at night.
Hey, people do crazy things, and you're one of them. So who knows?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The
So,
shots. The shots.
so with that being said, I mean, obviously, we're gonna be losing some players next season, and but we do have a rookie draft coming up here pretty soon for people to come in, and we'll circle back to that thought here after we're done with Excalibur. But welcome back, Excalibur. Um,
Sorry about that.
so no, no worries, no worries. I think we don't want to take up too much of your Friday night, so I think we had maybe just one or two more questions for you. I had a question that I wanted to ask you, um, not including St. Louis. Where would you like to see the XFL championship played next season, other than St. Louis?
Whew, not including St. Louis. What's the closest XFL city to St. Louis?
I love it. I
Probably
love it.
DC.
That's a good answer.
Is it DC? DC is probably
Yeah,
closest.
I imagine it's probably going to be in San Antonio for a couple of years. I'm not sure, but just being the fact that where all the teams practice and everything, it makes sense. You know,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
love I would love to have it in St. Louis, but I've heard a lot of people say it's probably not going to be in St. Louis because we have a good fan attendance. It's probably going to be in areas that need a little assistance in the fan department. I'm not sure. You can take that how you want.
That's a good point, though.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
I honestly I see it could go either San Antonio or St. Louis, specifically because both of us have domes. We have indoor stadiums to play
Right.
in,
Sure.
and especially in Texas in May, the weather is so unpredictable because it could like even this past championship, there was predicted to be storms all
Floods.
throughout like biblical style rains. And it just happened between midnight and 5 a.m. So we were very lucky that we were spared during our tailgate. But it could have very easily gone the other direction, and we could have like just completely been flooded out. And we were very fortunate that it wasn't. But yeah, and that's how unpredictable the weather is. And I think that I would love to see it be a trade off like between San Antonio and St. Louis specifically because we have the domes.
Right.
Um, and that also gives fans from Seattle and from DC and the North Division a better chance to travel to see the championship because I would imagine, I mean, obviously it's a lot easier to travel from Arlington and Houston to San Antonio than from St. Louis, Seattle, and DC. So but I mean, it'd be cool to see it go back and forth.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Or
so I got
going between all the cities, or whoever wins the championship. Have it in Arlington next year, or what have you. A little bit more incentive to win it all.
I got a question, right? So as I watch you guys on TV, right, and I hear you guys saying some things, I think what is it after for the first downs? Are y'all saying STL?
There's so many different chants going on. I know one side of the dome will say battle, and the other side will say Hawks. Uh,
Okay.
the announcer will come on and say that's good for another battle hawk, and then the crowd will go first down.
Okay.
So I think that's probably what you're hearing. But there's so many different chants. It's such a crazy ruckus environment. Um, I was trying to think the other day what I could compare our Battlehawk fan crowd to, and there's really not. The only one I can come up with that's maybe similar would be like the old black hole from the Raiders.
The Raiders, yeah.
those fans were pretty animated and fun
Hmm.
and crazy and engaged. And if there's another group of fans that I could compare Battlehawk Nation to, I would say that would be it.
Okay, so the announcer is pretty much coming up with all the little chants and the
A lot of
little.
them, yeah, a lot of them.
Okay, because I was like, wait, they saying S? That was nice. I was like, oh, I like that. The first down, and then all the fans say STL. I like that, but yeah, that's interesting, man. So I thought there was like a lot of I thought fans came together and came up with stuff like that. Y'all still do the boom, right, for the
Oh yeah,
punts?
on the kickoffs,
Yeah, or the kickoffs and punts. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And they'll show stuff on the jumbotron to get the fans going too.
Okay.
To just kind of be what do you call a conductor, if you will, for the fans.
Okay.
And so I guess we can finish it off with this question here. So I know with the Battlehawks, with the time of the season that the XFL goes on, you guys are also competing against the Blues, competing against now the Major League Soccer with St. Louis City FC.
Still got the Cardinals too, right?
Well, they're barely beginning spring training and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, there's also the Cardinals. Um, so I would say with all that competition with Major League Sports, how does the community like of St. Louis, in your opinion or in your views, react or embrace the Battlehawks compared to the other teams that's also trying to grab their attention? Do you feel like people are more gravitated to the Battlehawks because it's football and then you guys are football starved, or do you feel like it's everyone's fight fight to the death to see who can get the most fans?
I didn't really get the sense there was much of a fighting going on over the fans. There was a couple games. I know one in particular. I believe it was when Seattle went down. Granted, that was a big game, but just down the road we had City SC playing a soccer game, and I think there was a concert not too far away too. A pretty big name country star. I don't remember who it was offhand. And we still put in like around 30,000. And there was other games where we had to compete with the St. Louis Blues. Granted, they were near the end of their season and they were kind of out of the playoffs, so there wasn't a whole lot to play for there. But I don't really get that sense. It seemed like a pretty even mix at those days. That you had a equal amount of fans at Blues games as you did as the Battlehawks games, as you did at City SC. So, it's just, I mean, we got stuff for every fan. If you like soccer, we got soccer. If you like hockey, if you like football, and, it's new, the Battlehawks, and there's a lot of talk on TV and radio about them when everything was clicking and going good. So, I didn't get the sense, though, that there was much of a competing going on there, you know.
That's good. I mean, that's really good to show that city pride and that city unity, and that there's not, like you said, not a whole lot of competition, and that everyone's working together, just to bring more awareness to the St. Louis sports scene. Because I see a lot of similarities between you guys and San Antonio, as far as cities that are often overlooked, especially in football. I mean, you guys, like you said, you've had teams taken away from you twice, and we've been used as bargaining chips for other teams. Raiders, the Saints. Like I can't tell you how many times the Jaguars. Like San Antonio is always just seen as a bargaining chip, where it's like, oh, well, if you don't give us a new stadium, we'll just move to San Antonio, which it never happens. So yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of similarities as far as professional football goes between the both of our cities, and I think that's something that I think the XFL was smart and is reaping the benefits of putting a football team, a professional caliber football team, in both of our cities. So
I mean,
definitely.
they off to a good start though. Being as though they was averaging like 35, 34,000. Whereas you look at the Blues and you look at the FC team, the soccer team, the capacity don't even go up that high. So I mean,
Yeah, that's
they
true.
filling the dome with 35, 34,000, and these other major league teams not even nowhere close to that. So
Right?
I mean,
I
they
think
off to a good start though.
we had a soccer game and a football game and a concert or a hockey game. I think downtown was holding probably a good 100,000 people on those evenings. You know,
Not bad
great for business.
for sure.
Very true. Very true. Well, Excalibur, we don't want, like I said, we don't want to take up too much of your Friday night. So I guess we'll let you get back to your family. But we want to thank you so much for being a part of the podcast, just helping us unite the fan bases from across the country. Just goes to show, it doesn't matter. I'm right now. I'm in Houston. These two are in San Antonio. You're in St. Louis, and here we are connected on a Friday night talking about XFL and how much we love it. So I think the league is doing what it's intended to do, is bring people together for the love of football. So thank you again for joining us.
Hey, thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate everything that you guys do. Keep up the good work, and I hope to be on your show again sometime in the future.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, and I will certainly see you in St. Louis next season. That is
Right on.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
I love it.
All
All
right, man.
right, well, take care, Excalibur. It was a pleasure.
I bid you farewell.
Yeah, I love it.
I love the high pitch. Caw-caw!
Yeah. I love them, man. I just love it. Yeah. So that, I mean, for everybody watching, I mean, that's gonna be kind of what our fan series is all about. Is just getting to know the fan bases, the faces that we see on ESPN when we're watching other teams' games. And again, really just uniting the fan bases, no matter where we are in the country. Obviously the teams are spread out all over, but through the power of the internet, we can always unite and bring people together, especially
Yep.
when it comes to football and XFL. Um, so, um, so yeah, I guess switching gears now and going kind of back to what we were talking about before we had Excalibur come back on. We have the rookie draft coming up. And there's obviously going to be some turnover with our players, with some of them ending up in the XFL. Parker Romo, um,
Nah, he's not
but
coming back. He's not coming back.
that's what I'm saying. Like he's not coming. He definitely is not coming
Yeah,
He's
back.
not coming back.
no.
But
My heart
I know
hurts.
all of ours, all of ours. But I mean, what are y'all's expectations? What would y'all like to see the Brahmas do with this rookie draft? What opportunities do you see, or what holes do you feel need to be plugged in? Um, Either that being from just maybe we need a better play this season, or you know we're gonna have holes such as our special teams unit or our running backs.
Looks like we losing Delonte Scott, so he just got an invite.
Oh
And then
boy.
Rex from our special teams, he long snapper. So
Yeah, he was a good long
uh,
snapper too.
yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, it's pieces moving, which is good. I mean, it's always good when they grabbing players from your team. That lets you know that the coaches are doing the right thing. They going down the right path.
Mm-hmm.
The right players are in the right positions to succeed. Where they putting the players in the right position to succeed. So, but I mean, the biggest question right now is for me, it would be quarterback. I don't know what we're gonna do. Cone have had workouts. We still have Reed there. We still have Jawan Pass there. We still have I don't know if Ben Kirk's coming back. And then we still have Paxton Lynch that we signed later on in the season. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a big question right there. I don't know if they're going to bring in someone for competition. I think the rosters get up to what, like 90? If they said they
Yeah,
90, yeah,
they said they're going up to 90, and then they'll eventually cut it
cut
down.
down by camps to
Yeah,
like 70
yeah.
something, then the active would be like what, 53, 51, or whatever it is. So I mean, it's a lot of positions to fill, but it's a lot of competition. With the competition comes opportunity. So I mean, it's just whoever wants it. Who's the hungriest. Like who's the hungriest?
Yep.
Who wants to eat? But definitely the trenches we have to take care of first, man.
Ugh.
Both offensive line and defensive line with a lot of. I mean, we still have. I don't think Beasley got any invites yet so far. So
Which
we
is
still have,
surprising. He
which is
should be
very,
getting
very
invites.
surprising. So we still have him on the edge, and we have also got Mike Scott on the other edge. So we're still
Yeah,
doing good on that.
Ben
But
Davis there at middle linebacker, like
yep.
still anchoring down that D.
So we still got some players, but we also have to build upon those players as well. So But definitely, those are the question. Those are big question marks for me. Would be the quarterback position and the trenches. So,
I
um,
think I'm in the same boat though. I think the part that I love now, just getting into a second season, is the fact that it's very possible we can have a whole new team.
very possible.
And it made
You
new
you can't.
signs.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have the amount of signs I have ready to go. But yeah, I think that's what I really love about it is the fact that it could literally all these teams can be all new again. You can't bank on Arlington trying to win it all again next season. I
That's
mean,
true.
It's not
they're
gonna happen.
well,
That's
yeah,
true.
it's not going to happen. But each team, I think that's the
Hey,
beauty of it. Oh shoot, he's already ready for second season.
Oh my god! I'm
Sir,
telling
sir, it's
closet
my turn.
Arlington fan.
It's my
if
turn
y'all
right now.
watching it, if y'all watching and y'all don't know why I got shades on, these are well, I ain't got my circle ones. My circle ones, I ain't put them on. I got my Men in
I
Black.
told you so. I told
You
you
know,
so,
these my I
Shades.
told you so Men in Blacks because they kept telling me Arlington this, Arlington that. I say, okay, I'm telling y'all, Arlington is
Sir,
going to come in
it's
the dome,
it's
and it's
my
going to be
turn
a
to
home
talk.
game for them, and they going.
Oh
Okay, let me
my
shut up.
Atlanta.
Go ahead.
No, just kidding. But no, for real, I think that's what I'm really enjoying now coming into second season is knowing that our team could not be the same, which in a way sucks, but it's also exciting. But I'm in the same boat as DJ. I feel like the two that I'm looking for is a quarterback, and because we relied on Romo so much to help us win games, it would be a kicker unless we do get a decent quarterback and things do change.
So without
So
Rum now, who you think will start? That's funny.
Uh, Honestly,
you tell me.
uh, of the three quarterbacks that we can consider being on the roster, that being
Four.
Cone, Sinet, and I'm not counting Banker
You're not
because
counting. Okay.
no. So of the three that I would say that we can say are will be on the roster, which would be Pass, Sinet, and Cone. Um, I'd have to, part of me wants to say Reed Sinet. Would probably
Well,
I would feel
Cone not on the roster anymore. He got workout. He
That's,
got camp.
that's what I'm saying. But we haven't heard him signing anywhere yet. He
That's true.
got
Mm-mm.
That's true. That's true.
invites, but he
But I
hadn't
mean,
signed
his
anywhere.
contract is up. Maybe a team might sign him, right?
Possibly. I mean, I'm just
Well, I'm
saying.
talking about like
If
another XFL team. Oh,
it,
because they don't have rights to him, right?
well,
Once
the
the
thing,
contract is up, that's it.
no.
Oh my god,
So
my bad.
from my understanding is that, and you can bring a certain number of players back automatically.
Okay,
Um, which I think it's like 25% of your roster. Like you can bring them back.
okay,
Everyone else, the team that they finished with, that team has the rights to their contract and they can either choose to bring them back or trade them to another team for someone else,
okay.
but they don't have to be like on the roster. But 25%, it's like, yeah, no, we want you back on this team, you know. That's how I have had it understood. It's still not quite like I would take that with a grain of salt, but
I
yeah,
gotta
no.
watch that Doug Whaley interview. He did an interview and I posted it on the group, but I haven't watched it. But he was talking a lot about the rookie camps and the retention of players for next year. So, and maybe I have a better answer if anybody can chime in on that. But yeah. With your three quarterbacks, you said Reed, Pat, Jawan, and Jack. With those
Right.
three, you got to add Paxton Lynch in there because he's still on the roster. So that's four.
Okay, yeah. If we want to add Paxton Lynch in there, I would honestly, I would put Paxton Lynch in reserves. I'm just gonna be honest. He didn't impress in Orlando, and he didn't play in San Antonio, so I would put him on the reserve. Um, and
I think
Jack Cohn,
Reed. I
I,
think Reed.
you Reed in reserve.
No. Reed starting.
Oh yeah, no, that's who my pick would be because when he came out and he was playing, he was like
Man,
sparked the offense, and at a time when the offense was at its lowest.
yeah,
Um, and Jack Cohn, the last two games he
he
played
can't. Yeah,
phenomenal. Like
yeah,
he played,
Mhm.
but it took so
too
long to
long,
get
man.
there. Yeah, like
Yeah,
that. Like
That cone
we
zone.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I was totally part of the cone zone.
Yeah,
that's
we were
because y'all made
believers.
At
that's because
at
y'all
the
made the sign too late. It's supposed to be
Yeah,
in day
I'm
one,
sorry,
Jackie.
that's our
my
fault.
boy
Yeah.
didn't show up until the last couple games. Come
That's not an
on.
excuse. What y'all say
Oh
at the
no.
meet and greets? We gotta smile and laugh at him and joke
And
with
I
him so he can feel
did.
good.
And he got his thing.
No,
Once I
that's
saw
because
a
you didn't have the
smile.
sign,
Oh
Jackie. We
my
waited till the
last
end of the season for you to make
the
a cone
you
zone
know
sign.
what? I wait till they show me something so they deserve
That's
a sign.
crazy. You have to give them something so that way you can give like you
Don't
can
you be
make
putting all
something.
this on me, sir.
I
My
gotta blame
goodness.
you. I gotta blame
Yeah.
somebody. I'm
My
blaming you.
Lord.
But then there's also the developmental piece. I mean, I know Coach Ward said he wanted to develop Jawan Pass and work
That's
with
Yep.
him
true.
even more. So we can come back season 2 and see a completely different Jawan Pass than what we saw
Hmm.
this year, who is just killing it like Tamu style, where he's a threat on the ground, he's a threat in the air. We don't know. I mean, there's a lot of unexpected when you say you want to develop someone, and you have a whole off season to develop them. Shoot, he can come out and like just completely obliterate the competition
Hmm.
for the starters for the Brahmas. I do see him coming back, and I hope he does come back. I would love to see more Jawan Pass in there. But I do think that he just needs a little bit more coaching up just to get to that next level. That he would have success and put up some really good game film in the XFL for NFL scouts to see.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, what would you think the positions that we need to fill?
I honestly, I would agree with you all on quarterback. Like we have to have a consistent signal caller, and I would plug in the holes on defense that we are going to lose, because
Hmm.
our defense was stout. I mean, that was what
Still
kept us in
top
so
three.
many. Yeah, it's what kept us in so many games. I know a lot of people would probably say, "Well, we got to focus on the offensive line and things like that." And the
That's
thing
true.
is that it's difficult to be able to say that because the offensive line wasn't so much issues of gameplay. It was we didn't have consistency because guys were going down.
Getting hurt.
They
Yeah.
were
Hmm.
like it was a revolving door of offensive linemen all season long. And so we never really had, I mean, I think we heard it towards the end of the season. There was one player left against that game in Orlando that was
From the
starting the
starting roster.
yeah,
Yeah.
from the starting roster because every other offensive lineman had gone down. So like it's hard to want to say I mean it's easy to want to say like we need to fix the offensive line, but I, that's tough because it's you can't fix injuries. Injuries
Yeah.
happen.
Yep.
Um, and you also can't blame the athletic trainers because they're there to fix our players up. But when you tear an ACL, you tear an ACL. Like it is what it is. So yeah, I would say quarterback. And then the holes in the defense. I do think that our running game is still going to be solid. We may be losing Jaquez Patrick, but he took over after our original running back went down.
Yeah. Kalen
Torres,
Balaj.
yeah,
Hmm.
and Coach Ward was saying Kalen Balaj is a guy that I have no idea why he's in the XFL. This guy should be on the NFL roster right
True.
now. But he got hurt, and I hope his recovery goes well, and he gets back into the XFL, and we see him back wearing the charcoal and yellow, and just eating up yards for us next year. Because I do see him being the starter, but he's gonna. I don't want. I don't think a one running back system is gonna work. Um, you
I
know,
wanted to see. I know we still got Hilliman, but I wanted to see Kevin Marks, man, so bad.
and that
I
might be
was so
someone that we
mad
see
that he
next
wasn't
year.
in the rotation. I know, but I was so mad he wasn't in the rotation. I was like, I wanted to see him. His highlights look crazy at Buffalo, but then
Yeah.
Buffalo College. But then we didn't get a chance to see him, so I was like, man,
That might
that
be a
sucks.
Jawan Pass situation where coach wants to develop him a little bit more before we see him on the field.
That's true. That's
So
true.
the next thing I want to kind of touch on is I'm gonna pass this one over to Jackie. She's been I want
Me.
to just I want to give this shout out to Jackie. She has been
Jackie.
um busting her tail to get some off-season events going, and I think we
Hmm.
have some in the works. Jackie, if you want to go ahead and explain.
We do. I'm not going to give full details, just a little bit of details, but we definitely want to maintain um just a community of Brahma family where we're still meeting in the off season. So there is an event coming up very soon. We're thinking end of July, beginning of August. It'll probably revolve around um, back to school, school supply drive, something of that sort. We already have a location. We're just trying to lock down some of the last details on final date and all that good stuff. But we are definitely going to have events off season for you guys. So stay tuned. If you're, make sure you're following the Horns Forward podcast as well as our fan page for the Brahmas to just stay in touch with it. So, like Warren put out there, make sure you haven't put that Brahma shirt in the back yet. Bust out that yellow
Hey,
and make
keep
sure
it
it's
out.
ready to go. Because we're going to show up as a Brahma family and support our community and just make sure that they know that we're here to stay. It's a fan led league. So we're going to keep it that way. So more details for sure to come.
Yeah, and this all is gonna be by the fans for the fans. That's kind of the mantra that we're really keeping
Mm-hmm.
um, throughout this off season. Is a lot of the events that we're gonna be doing is by the fans for the fans, and
Mm-hmm.
all to support the Brahmas and make sure that we help them become part of the culture of San Antonio, just like that team that's on DJ's hat is, because we all know
Mm-hmm.
the Spurs are basically woven into the culture of San Antonio. There's no reason why the Brahmas can't be as well.
Hey, I'm woven into the culture too, because I'm not a Spurs fan, but hey, I like the colors for one, and then two,
Oh
it's I
my
mean it's down the
gosh.
street. I mean I'm a rep them, but you know
There you go.
I'm a,
Hey,
I'm a,
and we got
I'm a, I'm a
we got
DC
Wemby now.
homer, so I'm a DC fan of everything other than the football team. That's it. That's just me.
The stolen Commanders from San Antonio.
Man, they
Yeah,
better change their name again. No,
man,
so
I was going for Red Tails. They really should have been. Red Tails
I
was
like
perfect.
Red Tails or Red Wolves, one or the other. But
Yeah,
hey,
well,
it
but
is what it
that's
is.
Washington.
That's Washington for you. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I guess with that being said, again, I'm gonna toss this back to Jackie.
Hey,
Um,
Jackie,
Yes.
who
what
who
again?
who are
Hey.
who are
We
our
getting
next
a lot of mic time tonight.
who's gonna be our guest next week?
Oh yeah. So next week's fan series guest is going to be a good one. It's going to be one you want to watch because it's going to be a verbal battle. I'm just kidding. It's still family friendly. We are going to have the Banditos from the Arlington Renegades.
There's one right there.
No, that's not one. That's Marcos.
But
Wrong
That's
Marco.
wrong, Marcos. Yeah, my bad.
Don't you
wrong
dare
Marco.
call him that. You better we're sorry,
My bad.
Marcos.
My bad.
You're a Brahma
I
through
saw
and through.
I saw the name and that was my bad.
It's very it's a S. He has the extra letter.
Yeah,
Marcos has the
that's
extra
right.
letter.
So yeah,
But
two
yes.
That's
S's.
right.
What?
No.
There's a
One is
Marco
Marco and then
and
Marcos.
Marcos.
Oh, this is Marcos.
Yeah,
Here,
this is Brahma.
This is
This is
ours.
Brahma
Brahma.
This is
Marcos.
Our Brahma.
ours. Yeah.
So
He's
how is this going to turn out though? Because I mean, they Arlington fans. So
at the end of the day, we're gonna treat him just like we do Excaliburd. Welcome
Yes.
him. It's gonna be two of them. We're gonna welcome them with open arms, loving Brahma
make
hands,
sure you're talking
and
to Jorge here with open
there
arms, Jorge.
there may be a little bit of trash talk, but that's all in good fun. But yes,
It's all in good
Banditos
fun.
will be here next Friday, so just look out for our little announcement for the guys. So yeah, we'll have
And
Arlington on next week.
hopefully one of them doesn't fall asleep on our podcast again.
Hey, we got caught in 4K too.
And the shots have begun. I'm just saying.
Just so they know.
Um, but yeah, no, yeah, everything is all in good fun. Like I said, it's just the rivalry is building up.
It's
Is
a
really what
healthy rivalry.
it's what it's gonna come down to. And at the end of the day, like I mentioned earlier, rivalries are good for the league because it gets
Mhm.
people more invested, more involved, more engaged, and yeah, it's just gonna be a good time. Next week is gonna be a good time. So it's a show you definitely do not want to miss, especially
Nope.
considering I was the guy who got booed in the Alamo Dome
You
for having
definitely
an
did get
anti
booed. You got
Arlington
booed.
sign.
I
The
heard that.
DJ gonna be wearing his shades. He'll
I'm
be
gonna put my
shade
shades
wearing.
on for them because they here on our show, so I gotta put my shades on.
and but what I love most is that the ownership of the league knows how I feel about Arlington. So I know they saw me on that jumbotron,
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
and I
they
know
feel
they
that
heard the
on the
booze.
time. Oh yeah.
But I was also taking a page out of the Rocks playbook, making sure that I had the crowd eating out of the palm of my hands and getting them
Period.
engaged in the game.
Hey,
So,
entertainment.
well, with that being said, we are at the hour. So thank you guys so much for spending your Friday night with us once more. So we are the Horns Forward podcast. Again, thank you to Excaliburd for joining us and representing St. Louis. We appreciate everyone who's watched and spent their time with us on this Friday. And we look forward to having the Banditos from Arlington on our show next week. And so until then, y'all have a great weekend. And we ended off like always, horns forward, baby.
Going forward, baby.
Runs forward.